Part 2. Welcome back. Chapter 3, Section 3. I believe it is Section 3.3. There it is. That's right. What we're going to look at first is a question where this happens right here, where one of the first things I gave you, where you have to multiply a mixed number, and the only way you can do this is change to improper. Okay, so if you're asked to multiply, it's a boom, change it. Mixed number, if it's mixed number. Okay, so we have two mixed numbers in number 5 happening right here. All right, that means, so let's recopy it underneath, because on your homework you're going to copy the question down, right? Yes. Copy it on your paper. -4.5. That means times. It's touching a parenthesis, so it means multiply times -1 and 1/9. All right, without a calculator, we can't really multiply that, and you need to be able to without the calculator. So you're going to do your check mark trick, right? 4 times 2 plus 1. That's 8 plus 1 is 9. It's a negative number, so it's negative. You just put down negative, then you go 4 times 2 plus 1. Right, that's 9. And you keep the denominator the same, whatever it was. Do the same thing for the -1/9. 1 times 9 plus 1 is 10. It's -10 over 9. See what you have now? Now you have two improper fractions that you can just multiply. What should you do first? Look for a common factor. Look, there's an obvious one right there because 9 goes into both of those numbers. Take it out. 9 divided by 9 is 1. 9 divided by 9 there is 1. Okay, now 2 and 1, nothing there. 2 and 10, yes. 2 can be divided by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 10 can be divided by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So what we have here is we have a negative times a negative is positive. We know it's positive. 1 times 5 is 5. I went this 1 times this 5. And then this 1 times this 1 gives me my bottom number, which is 1. So I have 5 over 1. Right? And we should probably go ahead and write that final answer as just 5, since it's over 1. Okay, let's move along to number 6, doing the same thing. Please think through these questions as I talk about them, and whatever you don't understand, bring it to class. Specific questions, please. All right, that's a negative number. That's a negative times a positive, so I know my answer is going to be negative. They're both mixed, so we have to change them. So we have 2 times 2 plus 1. That's 5 over 2 times 5 times 3 plus 2. 15, 16, 17. That's positive 17/3. Okay, look for common factors. I don't see one. 3 doesn't go into 5, 3 doesn't go into 17, 2 doesn't go into anything. There's nothing there to cancel out. So you just multiply. Now again, a negative times a positive is a negative. 5 times 17, I went ahead and worked that out for you. That's actually 85. That's the numerator. 2 times 3 is 6. Okay, and there you have it. For now, you can just leave that. What? That's right, yes. Wrong number there. 85 over 6. For now, just leave that. Later on, we'll change it to mixed numbers. Right now, I want to focus on the multiplication. Okay, let's keep going. Hopefully you're keeping up, and hopefully you're hitting pause and actually trying to learn from the video here. On the next page, this is basically the same thing right here. Okay, so don't freak out about this. All they're going to do, they're just trying to introduce you to algebra, hence the words pre-algebra, okay, and we're going to be doing the same things by substituting these variable values. So it says evaluate. Now you might remember from our very first lesson, evaluate means find the number. We'll do the math and find out what the number is. All right, x is 14/15. Y is -1 and 2/5. Now, we can make our life a lot easier right here. Let's come over here. You actually probably have room at the top of your page. Mine's slightly cut off there, so you might write it right up here above what I write over here. Y is equal to -1 and 2/5. Let's go ahead and change that. 1 times 5 is 5. Right? 1 times 5 is 5. Plus 2 is 7. So y is the same thing as negative 7 over 5. Let's just do that now, because we know we can't multiply anything with that mixed number. Negative 1 2/5. So negative 1 2/5 is the same thing as this, negative 7/5. Because let's look at number 7. That's what they're first going to ask us to do. It says take x times y. I know it means multiply because the variables are touching. That means multiply. X is 14/15 times y. Now use this y over here. Negative 7/5. Okay, look for anything on the top and bottom. Do you see anything? I don't. You cannot do the 5 and the 15 because they're both on the bottom. Okay, you can't do the 7 and the 14 because they're both on the top. Okay, so I have a positive times a negative is negative. 14 times 7. I worked that out for you. That's 98. 15 times 5, 75. All right, and that is your solution right there. Okay, number 8, z times z, that's negative 3/7. Alrighty then, negative 3 over 7 times negative 3 over 7. And yes, you need to write that on your page. Negative times negative is positive. No factors to cancel out, so 3 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 7 is 49. And basically it's positive because it's negative times negative. And that's all you can do. It cannot reduce anymore. The truth is, if you will take all the factors out in the original problem, you won't have to reduce anything. It's a lot easier to do it that way. How about number 9? X times z, 14 over 15 times z is negative 3/7. All right, let's see if we have common factors here. Oh, I see several. You see the 7 and the 14? 7 goes into 7 once. 7 goes into 14 twice. Okay, and the way I got that, I kind of skipped a step. I put a divided by 7 there. And I divided that 14 divided by 7. Get the 2. This 3. 3 will go into 3 and to 15. That's 15 divided by 3 is 5. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 2 times negative 1. So you have this 2, this 1, you have this 5, and you have this 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Multiply the top numbers. 5 times 1 is 5. 2/5. Right there. Okay. Let's skip down. I think I'm kind of just doing the same thing. I'll do number 10, and I think I'll just cross off number 11 and 12 because we're really just doing the same thing again and again. But let me do number 3 in case you run into this where you have 3 things to do. Okay, and it's really pretty simple if you're following along what we're doing. So I'm going to recopy 3/4. X is equal to 14/15 times z is negative 3/7. Okay, well let's just probably the easiest way to do that would just be to focus on one thing at a time here. So I'm going to look at this right here, and I'm going to see if I have any common factors. So let's just multiply that, and let's make this negative 3/7 weight. Well, 4 has a common factor of 2, because 2 goes into 4. So 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 14 divided by 2. See how I did it on the top and bottom right there? 14 divided by 2 is 7. 3 goes into both 3 and 15. So I'm going to divide that by 3, and I'm going to divide that by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Okay, so you have 1 times 7. So I'm just multiplying those first two numbers here, the 3/4 and the x. 1 times 7 is 7, and 2 times 5 is 10. I'm going to multiply that times negative 3/7. And do you see that obvious one right there? 7 divided by 7 is 1, and 7 divided by 7 is 1. So look, you have 1 times negative 3. That equals negative 3. You have 10 times 1 equals 10, negative 3/10. Okay, so like I said, I feel like I've shown you enough because it's the same thing over and over. Look for common factors before you multiply. Okay, always change mixed numbers to improper. Okay, then get those common factors out, like I just said. Then you multiply straight across. You have your new numerator and denominator. Easy. All right, I've got one more video to show you, just to show you the two applications at the bottom of the page, and then we'll be done.